General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ebintu byongedde omusobako anti bye mwalabye ebyakoleddwa ku kisaawe ky'ennyonyi Entebbe yabikoze ng'ebyomuzannyo ng'alowooza kimuyamba so kumbe kyongera mufungula na kumwonoonera. Waliwo nno bwino omulala ate avuddeyo ayongera okulumika Mwai Museveni ng'ono y'omu ku bwino eyeetaagibwa kkooti y'ensi yonna agiyite ICC. Ono avudde South Africa. Mwai Museveni yali aguza abatujju abacuba batuuse obulabe ku Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine mu ggwanga la South Africa bwe yali nga yakagwayo era mbu asobole obutadda Uganda nga mulamu. Kati nno obujulizi buno buvuddeyo. Bwino ono avuddeyo. Akatambi kano kaleeteddwa. Mwai Museveni yamwalula esiridde. Kwa buno bwe bujulizi obumu obwetaagibwa kkooti y'ensi yonna. Mwai Museveni by'azze akola ebikolobero kutyoboola eddembe ly'obuntu. Yali ayagala Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine afiire South Africa ne Mukama yazza bibye. Singa tekwali kufuba kwa banna South Africa, banna NUP, banna People Power, banna nkyukakyuka, Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine teyandituuse Kampala. So kulaba akatambi kano ogenda kumanya amazima amakulu agali mu bintu bino. Mwai Museveni engeri gy'ali alusemu olukwe okusaanyawo Kyagulanyi Ssentamu ne Mukama n'atujuna, Mukama n'atuyamba kwe kuba nti Kyagulanyi Ssentamu akyali mulamu olwaleero.
Good afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you so much for always giving up your time and do a contribution on the liberation, the struggle that we've given up our time to see that we put our country, our mother and Uganda into the proper way we want her to be. Comrades, I think let me just go through and let you know how Dictator Museveni and his gang, they are heartless, they are evil, they are ruthless. Last week, before His Excellency went back home, we were with him here in South Africa. But comrades, I saw something that you really, that is really unbelievable. These people are heartless. These people are evil. We were so long waiting for His Excellency to come over here. The day came, we woke up, we traveled kilometers and miles of distances to come and meet our president, welcome him at the Old Tambo, Johannesburg Airport, International Airport. When we got at the airport, we waited for him to land. Time came, he landed. When he landed, the South African police brought a bit of sabotage. Some of the officials from the South African police, they did a bit of sabotage. We asked them why they are doing such a mess. And people who are peaceful, some people who are not doing anything, and all on our president who is peaceful, who is don't any type of misconduct. They told us that they got a direct call from the government, in fact, from Uganda. Can you imagine that they got a direct call from Uganda stopping His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu by the president to land at the Old Tambo, Johannesburg International Airport? These people are very selfish. These people are very selfish. They had already incriminated us that we are violent, that we are people who don't need to do an activity. So I wondered what these people, in fact, I can see how these people, how their cow mentality really is. This way they don't think at all. They don't think at all. They think that they transfer the dictatorship and lawlessness they are carrying, they are doing their practice in Uganda. They transport it to other outside countries. But we said no. On that day, we said no. And I just want to thank our leadership here in South Africa for the persistent, for the ungiving up heart. We fought until we won these goons, the evil gang of Museveni and his cronies. We told them straight that we shall not leave this airport until we see our president, because they wanted to smuggle him, or they smuggled him from where we were supposed to welcome him. until we say that we shall not leave this airport until we see our president, the president of the Republic of Uganda, with our faces, until he was given chance to drive him back where we are supposed to welcome him. We welcomed him with the happiness, when we are really very happy. He talked a bit to us. Then from there, we proceeded to the venue where we were supposed to meet all of us, because it's known that we were all at the airport. Then when we got at the venue where it was supposed to meet all of us here in South Africa, all change loving South Africa, Ugandans in South Africa. We got to the venue, we started preparing here and there. Just as normal, we prepare when we are going to meet our president. In the middle, when we are still preparing, there came some, again, security officers. They came right at the venue, again, with a mentality of sabotaging and stopping the whole ceremony. I think okay. The story is long. I don't know if you
Comrade Vanasula. Sorry for interjection. Yeah, sorry for interjection. As you have a few minutes, however, as you should combine the story, but also you can talk about if we are really independent or independent, so that we can move according to the program. Like, thank you.
Okay. Please, thank you so much. Okay, to cut it short, we won the dictator. We won the dictator 2 times here in South Africa. They spent money. They tried to bribe the officers, but at the end, we won each and everything, and that's why, and everything went on successfully. So on the side, whether we are independent or not, brothers and sisters, we've never been independent in Uganda. We would be independent in our motherland Uganda if we had a pure national in the highest seat of our motherland Uganda. If we had a pure national, we would be independent. But the problem, the reason why we are not independent up now is because the person who is in the top seat of our motherland Uganda is not a pure national. Rwandese, first of all, Rwandese were smuggled into our constitutions, our constitution. Rwandese were smuggled into our, that one, our elders who sat down and meant that the constitution, they told us straight that they don't know how Rwandese were smuggled in the constitution of our Republic of Uganda. They told us straight. There are so many things, in fact, there are so many things that Museveni forced into our constitution, whereby, of which our elders who sat down and met that constitution did not vote. We are not independent just because we are misruled by invaders. Museveni is an invader. They came with the purpose of killing, destroying, and demolishing our motherland Uganda. In order for us to be independent, in order for Uganda to be independent, we have to make sure that we give out our lives to make sure that we put His Excellency in the seat where he is rightfully need to be, and that is the State House. But even if we shall talk this and this, way, as long as we are not having a straight Ugandan in the top seat of our motherland Uganda, that's a waste of time. That's a waste of time. We are suffering because we are not the person who is in the seat, in the top seat of our motherland Uganda presidency, is not the right person who is supposed to be there. Is just there forcefully. Is just there by guns. Is just there because of greediness. Is there because of evil. Brothers and sisters, I want also to thank each and every Ugandan who really put force into our mission that was planned on the 5th of this month. We won 100%. We won, and we have to push on such programs or such missions. We have to expose. Dictator Museveni thought that maybe is doing something on his side, or that they thought that maybe they are dehumanizing his Excellency but they lost it. They lost it all. They lost it all.
Thank you.
Yes.
His Excellency told us. They told them that he's international. Imagine, just even before 5 minutes after their evil deed at him at the airport, the news was all over the world how his Excellency was wrongly, illegally arrested upon his landing at the airport. On my side, this blame I put it on. In fact, you cannot really. I don't know how. I cannot really accept it that that Rwanda Air did not know about this thing.
As you conclude, comrade.
As I conclude, comrades, we have to go on with such missions like the one on the 5th. We have to go on with them until because for us what we need is to force Museveni, the terrorist Museveni and his approaches to make more mistakes. That was a mistake. We have to force them to make more mistakes. That's when, and in those mistakes, I think, because whichever mistake now Museveni is doing, Ugandans, they open their eyes. Ugandans get to open their minds and see how heartless and ruthless Museveni and his gang are here. So, Ugandans, let's keep it up. We won, and we are still winning until his Excellency is at the State House. Ugandans rise up. We have to finish this mission on the streets of Uganda. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Comrade Banasula. And once again, I do appreciate you for keeping yourself within the struggle all along. It has been long. We were together all along, and up to now,
thank you so much, Comrade.
In the right path. Thank you so much for keeping that spirit. However, as we continue, due to time factor, I would like to remind all the comrades, let's try to use as little time as we can. Just allow me to go down and
in the vehicles, shove them in there, and all the shameless acts that went on. Very unprofessional, devaluing the country. And they keep talking about that when we expose these immoral activities, that we are being negative. But God showed that they are the ones who are devaluing the country by continuing to do things that are just so low and so cheap. So I'm so thankful. I am so happy that happened. And I also want to thank Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu for standing strong and creating an opportunity to continue exposing how low and cheap these people that call themselves important are. And then I also want to thank God so much that, especially for Christians who say that, they are preventing the businesses from being closed. Museveni closes businesses when he leaves State House every day, stopping traffic, stopping everybody from moving to the places where they are going to earn bread for 2 hours, driving from Entebbe to Nakasero. So he does that every day. Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu was just coming and people were just going to welcome him. How was that a crime? Shame on you people. Shame on you. You're the one killing everything in Uganda. And then you turn around, you try to give excuses. No, we shall not stop exposing evil. And then there are those who say that the crowds were going to be rowdy, especially the police. Well, if we use the word rowdy, and usually I talk to Christians, when Jesus got angry at the bad practices of the people who are doing businesses and cheating the citizens, if we use the word rowdy, then he was justifiably rowdy. Unless you're saying that Jesus getting angry and throwing these guys out, he was being rowdy. I mean, in a negative sense. No, We are justifiably angry. When people stand up to say no to evil, they are justifiably angry. And being angry is a human right for right reasons. So you cannot stop people from being angry. So if they are saying that people are going to be rowdy, there's a reason. There's a justifiable reason. Jesus was also angry and said no to evil. We are saying no to Museveni, and we're going to be angry. We're not going to be smiling at him when we're doing it. And then lastly, Dorcas, did you see the Kavano? Now, let me tell you, Dorcas, the people who are in charge, and I want to thank the First Lady, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, the elected president of Uganda, his wife. When he talked to that man in Kinyarwanda, he was exposing the fact that the Abanyarwanda who are being used to abuse Ugandans. Because this guy violated the sanctity of the home of the elected president of Uganda, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, when he broke into the gate and entered inside unlawfully in a hooligan way. The man who is taken care of by taxes, the man who rides on the back of Ugandans. He forced himself into the residence of somebody who did not break the law. So she spoke to him in Kinyarwanda to let people know that, look, these guys who are commanding are not Ugandans. She exposed that fact. And then the guy at Entebbe who was exposed, who is called Kandiho, who was part of the people who grabbed the elected president of Uganda from the Air Rwanda, was a Mnyarwanda. He was exposed too. So we challenge you, Banyarwanda, to come out and disown these people and say we are peaceful, but there are some of us, name them. Otherwise, you're facing so many tribes in Uganda that are not happy. They have seen this and they're looking not good. Come out, disown these Banyarwandas who are being used to torture Ugandans, to kidnap Ugandans, and to murder Ugandans. You're challenged. Hi, Dorcas, back to you.
Thank you so much, brother. Once again, I welcome you all to yet another edition of Uganda is Bleeding online protest. Today is the 7th October 2023. It's a new month. And yes, thank you so much, Brother Reginald, for your submission. We will be having a Twitter bomb of some sorts today. Of course, we will tackle some of those issues that you mentioned, how they abducted our president. When we talk of president, it's His Excellence, of course, Mr. Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert, not the dictator. The dictator is not a president, never has been, never will be. Not in not on this platform, and not at least.
Yeah, as the Ugandans who rejected him.
we rejected him.
Yeah, we rejected him. He's nothing to us.
Yes, so we will be dealing with that. We will be having Twitter. So most of you get your computers, your phones, your gadgets, get them charged, because we will be sending a few shots out there. And of course, we are going to address the Rwanda Airlines, Entebbe Airport, because how does that happen in broad daylight? We know Uganda is a mafia state, but come on. So they need, we demand answers. Does that mean that some people did not maybe make it to the tarmac? Could be that they even kidnapped some people on board. Maybe they didn't even come out. So can they account for all the passengers? Yeah, so it was bizarre. And
yeah,
we should.
We need the Air Rwanda to disown what happened.
Yes, so today we are discussing Uganda's independence. We all know that Uganda officially gained its independence on the 9th October 1962. So it will be 61 years since we gained independence on the 9th, this coming 9th. Today is the 7th. In 2 days will be 61 years. Are we truly independent? That's the question. Okay, Brother Reginald, you come back. We're expecting Honorable Waiswa. If he's available, I will try and make him. No, he's not yet here with us. And with us as well, we have a guest co-host who I would like to ask to speak to us. Yes, brother, you come back. Yes.
Yeah, and you tell us how Joe is doing and Joseph, the other, we have not seen them for a while.
Yes, we should be able. Joe, I know, has been unwell. I will be able to communicate that across.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you so much, brother. I will get Haruna to unmute and speak to us. Thank you.
All right.
Yes,
good evening. Yes, good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is fine. You will just excuse me because I'm a little bit in a noisy place, but I do salute all the comrades that have taken time, are spending their time so that they can give something towards their country. I know it's not easy and it has been long since we last met and discussed a lot of things. Really, I can't take it for granted. I appreciate everyone who's doing everything. First of all, I would like to welcome back our President, His Excellency, Robert Chagulanyi Ssentamu, from the international tour he had. However, we had the 1 million people march, which went, but I know some people may think that we did not achieve, but I think on the international scale, we achieved something regarding on what came up and the way they treated him and what they reacted. I think it was our real target and we achieved that. So we should clap for ourselves for that. Another thing, one of our comrades who spoke before earlier on was talking about the Rwanda Airways and also the Rwandese, but generally me, I'm a kind of person who wouldn't wish to generalize, like if someone has done, a clique of people have done something wrong, so that we can generalize the whole thing to a certain group of people. It won't be polite, so it will really leave some people aside. So let's try to be at least a bit vigilant, so that when we are talking, we target specific group, exactly that clique of small people who have turned our country into a mess. So as time goes on, maybe I'll come up and give in my submission. I don't know if you really wish I can give it now or I will give it later. It will be upon your interest, Comrade Docas, so that I can hand over my submission. As you said, that is really Uganda independent or not yet?
Yes,
so
brother. Let's hear from you, your submission for 5 minutes, then maybe you take the hands, and I'm very sure you still teach us a thing or two as you take the hands. But yes, let's hear from you. What's your view? Is Uganda really independent? Are people just looking at the political aspect? What about economic, social? You know, so talk to us. What do you think? Are we really independent?
Thank you so much for that question. It's really a good question to answer. You may find that we may be having a few answers to that question, even if you ask the current dictator that really, are we independent? We are totally not independent. We know that it has been 61 years down the road when Uganda has got its independence, which is just, I think, like the independence in a myth. We are given governance, but without power up to now. So far, we have managed to have around like 9 presidents since 1961. So since 1962, on 9th October. So we count down the road 9 presidents so far. But if you go back and look into the things, how things are moving, I think we are totally far backward, even before colonialization. So, which I think we are not totally independent, because if we look at those who were there before in 1962 to 1966, that was the reign of Sir Edward Mutesa. Then furthermore, we go to Apple Milton Obote, who was there in 1966 to 1971. You remember how he came into power, how he managed the country, how whatever he did. So from there, we went to the Amin Dada, the field marshal, the man whom I really am pleased of. I'm really so happy because he worked for his country and he loved his country with whole heart. However, the current dictator, this Potik Museveni, is turning against him and turning a lot of bad image about him, whatever he did. So me and you can witness, and the rest of Ugandans, I'm sure they do witness that Amin did a lot for the country, which we haven't seen. And all the foundation we are moving on was made by Idi Amin Dada. However, due to the greedy and the barbaric nature of the current people, they tend to ruin everything into our country into a mess, which we are facing currently. So put aside Idi Amin Dada, the field marshal, the man whom I'm pleased of, and I really appreciate him. I think even you do appreciate him, not so?
Well, I think.
Okay, so that's me. To me, I appreciate him. So we went ahead. We saw we saw Yusuf Kironde Rule, who ruled for something like, I think it was only a few months that he ruled. Also, you saw his regime. We went ahead and saw Godfrey Binayisa, also who went for, I think, like 1 year or 2 years, ruling Uganda. We went to Paulo Mwanga, also ruled for some years. Again, we went into Milton Obote, but all these regimes came by force and by the use of guns, until to the extent of Museveni, whereby he came by guns, and up to now he's using guns to keep himself in power. Why do I say that Uganda is totally not independent at all? Because we cannot govern ourselves. We are still depending on the grants given by the donors. We are still being ruled like the colonial masters ruled. Those who don't oppose, who don't support what the current government are always in tortures, are always being beaten, are always being harassed. So there is lack of human rights. So these kind of factors really make me to stand on my point and say that Uganda is totally not independent. Take a look. Take a look at this. What's happening? Take the look at the corruption which is going on in our country. The state in which Uganda is, corruption is at its highest peak. I think all of you witness everything. In whichever sector you can see corruption is going on. So who is going to stop that? It's me and you and the rest of the comrades who can stand on the truth and say enough is enough. Let's put the end to it. Museveni and his Musevenism ideas. So we need to fight together and put the end to this. So another thing, it's about, you can see the poverty. Most of us are running from our country to go to abroad. Docas, you know where you are. I saw Comrade Superdon. I know he's in Sweden. He ran to Sweden, and all other comrades are in different countries. Why? Because at home is burning. You cannot stay at home. It's really so amazing. It's really so hurting that a young generation, which is so much vibrant and youthful and energetic, all of them are running away. Some of them are coming to these countries to work as kadamas. Others are they are calling us sekadamas. So, but we have no option. It's because the poverty that is dreading at home. Because if you want to start something, you cannot manage it because of the taxation and everything. So people are really living hand to mouth. So that situation is very so disturbing. So we need to come together, me and you, with the help of our leader as is heading us, His Excellency. We need to come together and see that we can put Museveni and his clique, the brutes who are turning our country into this. Take a look at the human rights abuses. This one I can mention more and more. We have seen it all along. During the reign of Dr. Kiza, during the 2021 election, those who were there, you saw how this man and his goons killed our people, how they imprisoned our people, how they arrested them up to now, and to the recent one, how they handled our president. So really the human rights abuse is too much, to the extent that it's those who have lived in some countries, at least they do feel they know what they call human rights, whereby you can express yourself, you can have a say towards. You just excuse me, as I told you that I apologize that I have a lot of some noise behind, but just excuse me. I hope I'm loud and clear.
Yes, you are. Are you able to go to your quiet place, or this is the only place you can be at?
Unfortunately, currently, I'm in one of our restaurants, which you know, which is famous known as Mpombo African Restaurant, okay, where we always eat our food. So I had gone here, but unfortunately, time caught me when I'm here. Okay. So I hope I'll just give in my submission. Just bear with me. I apologize for the rest of comrades. Yeah? Okay. So the issue, another thing before the time cuts me, because you gave me 5 minutes, look about the issue of the land grabbing. How land grabbing is going on in Uganda everywhere. Is land grabbing. Central, north, east, west is land grabbing. So we need to put a stop to this. So we remember, if we refer this during the colonial period, even the masters, these guys who colonized us, they used to take away our land. Because as you know, land is wealth. Without land, you don't have anything. You don't have home. That's the same issue that is making these people, like you see, Palestinians and Israelites fighting, because they are fighting for land. But that's the situation where Museveni is putting us, is trying to send us to be homeless people, you know? So that's a big issue. Another issue is about the insecurity, the insecurity also in the system. I think in the country, you can see we are unsecure in the country. I think you can witness that. For example, people have lived in countries where there is security. Whenever you are going back home from the airport, your home, you feel that you are unsecure. You don't know if you live for the next day. So we are like, there is a saying that you just live like a like a drunkard chicken. So you don't know if you will survive or not the next morning because of insecurity. We don't know if we can exist for more than 2 years. We don't know if we'll be there for the next 2 hours. You know, so it's really hurting and really makes us to panic, like as if we are still in colonial regime. So it also brings us again to say we are not independent. However, we need to use this independence as a stepping stone to fight so that we can be independent and liberate ourselves. Therefore, I do argue, people, comrades, whenever you are, play your part. Do what you can do, because sometimes we hear some comrades saying now for us, His Excellency should fight for us. No one will fight for you. No backup will come from other outside countries. It's only we, the Ugandans, to fight this. As we know, the apartheid that happened in South Africa, in all the countries that where colonialism was, these people, they had to fight. Our ancestors, the grandparents also fought so much to stop this. You know how it happened in the Buganda, the Bunyoro, the Eastern, the Mukama, you know, Kabarega, you know how they were exiled, but they were fighting for our country. So we, the youth, the young people, let's fight so that we can stop this. The last point is about the tribe and tribalism. Tribalism and nepotism. I think you can see it. However, a certain clique of friends and relatives and in-laws, they are capturing our country. Very few of them, they're using our resources. They are really manipulating everything, and they are selling all the natural resources of the country. The same act that was done by the previous people. So I think this one makes us to be not independent. I think so. What do you think, comrades? So really, to that point, I think that allow me to come to the conclusion by saying that Uganda is not independent until we get the power back to the people, as the Constitution says that the power belongs to the people, and the people will determine who will govern them and how to be governed. That's when we shall be independent. Thank you so much for listening to me. Hope to enjoy the next session. Thank you so much, comrades. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Haruna. I hope you're ready to take some hands as well. Thank you so much for your submission. In no particular order, I do not know if, please take the mic.
Okay, let me try to check through and see some comments raised up there. I think I will start with let me start with Comrade Godfrey Iga. Please lower down your hand and speak. You can unmute yourself and speak. Comrade Iga.
Okay, can you hear me properly?
Yes, you are loud and clear, please. Welcome to Uganda's Bleeding.
Yeah, thanks very much. How can I say? It's very humbling to see a young man who is in tune with what's going on. And you are the future of the country, and what you say matters 100%. And I'm hoping we've got enough young people who are listening in or who are watching to be as brave. Much appreciated, young man. And in reply to my man, Reginald, regarding this businesses morning, that whenever we go and protest, their businesses suffer, it has to be understood that we, the people, are the reason why their businesses exist. So if we said we won't deal with them, they will collapse. And we can enforce that law whichever way if they keep not seeing things in our way. First of all, most of those businesses are just existing either through corruption, because the amount of taxes they pay and what they get out of the system is almost nil. It's negative. So without really getting our country back, there's no business, and those businesses won't survive, because no business survives with paying taxes and bribes. It can never happen. And second point is I would like to thank most of our leaders. Our president, he showed leadership and calmness under adverse conditions. I'm not the one to, because I've had a lot of noise on the social media regarding blaming this. MPs didn't do that, they did this, they did that, which is not entirely true. Because we are all adults and we knew when we went in this what the regime was capable of doing. Yeah. In fact, we would have been surprised if they didn't do that. But because they are so much exposed, we cannot, they could not do what they done before during the elections, as in terms of torture. So, but they got exposed 100%, and they showed their ineptness and stupidity, and fell in the same trap. Much appreciated to our leadership in that regard. And as regards to Haruna's submission regarding not blaming everything, put things in perspective, I will not necessarily blame Rwanda Air, because even illegally what they did, their job is to transport people from A to B, yeah, in the air. That's why I call it air. So once they land safely, you get off the aircraft. That's entire someone else's business. So you can't necessarily blame Rwanda Air, whether they had something to do with it. You cannot. But that shows us what is bound to happen. But we move on. I think the regime was exposed to its maximum, and we appreciate that. And we thank the first family. We thank our MPs and our leaders. I think they all did a fantastic job, and we shall move on. I'm more of rejuvenated now. I'm firing on almost all cylinders now. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, comrade, for your good submission. I think it was loud and clear. As furthermore, I think I would like to call upon, I would like to call upon, let me check who raised their hands. Yes, oh, sorry guys, I cannot see those who had raised their hands. Please, can you raise again, because maybe I tapped something. And Honorable Nabuyanda, let me call upon Honorable Solomon, please, to give in your submission. You can unmute yourself and submit, please. Thank you so much. Honorable Solomon, as I do welcome also Honorable Almadi, it's like I saw him on the screen. You are most welcome, and the rest of the comrades. Okay, let's try to unmute you. Let me unmute you.
Yes, you can confirm that you can hear me.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to speak for only 1 minute, but I had a lot to say, but because my train is coming early, first and foremost, I want to appreciate everyone that has actually sacrificed time to join this call. It's important, and I don't take it for granted. However, I want to express disappointment in the tribalistic and hate blames that are moving around. Banyarwanda, Banyarwanda, Banyarwanda. We are not any different from Museveni if we use tribalism to actually confront what we actually want to erase and uproot from Uganda. So to me, I will also clarify that by law, Rwanda Air has no responsibility to whatever happened to the president on landing at Entebbe Airport, because as soon as the president landed at the president landed at Entebbe Airport and actually stepped to the airport like this, he is on Ugandan soil. So who is to blame is the Civil Aviation Authority. That shows us that actually the parastatal organizations of government, like the Civil Aviation Authority, are captured. This is not the first time this is happening. And I'm also disappointed in Ugandans that actually are blaming the regime for kidnapping the president. This is what they have always done. When Dr. Kizza Besigye also came in 2011, he was kidnapped the same way our president was kidnapped. This simply shows that we must stand up, we must organize, we must actually regroup and redefine what exactly we want. Secondly, I would also love to thank every Ugandan, most especially the foot soldiers, because to me, it is now proven that the president is on his own. The MPs only want to sandwich him in press conferences and not action. But the foot soldiers are actually upholding this struggle. I have to go.
Thank you so much for that submission. Just furthermore to add on your submission, I also try to beseech, I do request comrades, please, let's not be put in a trap of the tribalism thing. Let's not be trapped into tribalism as much as we can, because even the president himself has been encouraging us not to go much into tribalism thing. However, we need to pull out those people, which is a certain group of people who are practicing it, hiding themselves under other people. So please, let's try not to generalize people, because we know it's a clique of Museveni and his group, small group, that are doing that. However, we know they do come from that side, but not all of them that are fine or they are doing well. So I do really argue people, let's try to keep it like at least on certain levels. Anyway, guys, you excuse me. I think let me proceed to Comrade Banasula. I saw your hand is up. Please, you can unmute and say something. Yeah, Comrade Banasula, long time to hear from you. I'm waiting. And also tell us, how is South Africa? Comrade Banasula, because before hello.
Hi, brother. I think we'll get James on.
Okay.
Yes, because the mic, I don't know, not.
Okay, sure. We can get James on as we do with Comrade Alex.
Okay. Or James is unmuted.
Docus, let me confirm whether you can hear me, because you are very low. I'm trying to struggle.
I know.
I don't know.
My voice.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. My voice is a bit low today.
So, but can you hear me?
Yes. Loud.
Yes, we do.
Yes, Docus, thank you so much. And I appreciate whoever has come to speak and whoever is speaking about what transpired a few days ago. And I think as people in the struggle, let's also learn to appreciate mistakes and learn how to correct them. There were tactical errors that were made that some of us want to speak to boldly, because it is only foolish people who keep repeating same mistakes, same things, and they achieve same results. But Docus, I just want to come with a bit of way forward, because from what we saw, Kampala cannot be a place for our revolution. And I want us to separate a revolution from an election. I kept on asking these questions throughout 3 weeks ago. What are we doing? We are setting up offices. And I kept on asking, following up seriously, asking, what are we doing? Now, when we declare that the president is coming back, I thought all systems are going to be activated. I wanted to see Arua activated. I wanted to see Busia activated. I got involved in Busia. And right now, people of Busia have never attended this. They are now on. They are here listening to me. I call them, come and we listen and we plan. Because for us, if we don't separate a revolution from an election, because it's like we are moving for an election, which we know the results, that will happen, that if we didn't get even a spark after results, we are again pushing that direction. If it is a revolution, I have mentioned it very carefully and very seriously. I am making now videos in 3 languages, Luganda, Lupadola, and Lusamia. When I speak Samia, I'm speaking to my people where I was born, and that is Busia. When I speak Lupadola, I'm speaking to the district where I was separated from when we were Bukedi. Remember, we were the only district in Uganda. The only district in Uganda that was never tribal. You either had Buganda, you had Teso, you had Lango, you had Acholi, you had Ankole, you had Lugubara as districts, but for us we were Bukedi, and Bukedi were 8 tribes. Now, when Museveni came, he divided these districts into smaller tribal districts. That's why you have me as Samia Bugwe, my MP, Samia Bugwe North, my MP, Samia Bugwe Central, there's Samia Bugwe South, and then there's only the municipality, which is regarded as not tribal. Now, when we speak about tribes, people keep on getting shocked and fearing. The Itesos in Tororo, where I come from, are struggling. They want their Teso district. Museveni visited Teso Bukedi last week, and people did not receive him. The Itesos refused. They want a district of Teso. So there's nothing wrong with speaking about a tribe. And I keep on blaming my colleagues who are brothers and sisters from Buganda. You are 7 million people. If Bobi Wine spoke to you like I'm speaking to Samia's who are 395,000, there's nothing wrong. If I want to fight, I start with my family. Towards Bobi Wine coming back or the president coming back, the people who castigated Bobi Wine more than anyone, it did not come from the north. It did not come from Busia. It came from Central. You just need 1 million people from Buganda and my district, Tororo and Busia is neutralized. People, let's wake up. Let's wake up. If it is a revolution, then let's go to our individual districts. From Busia, fish, the Nile patch. They take the swim bladder from the Nile patch, and the swim bladder of a Nile patch is $1,000. Just one fish, $1,000. And the fish comes from Busia. Busia is rated as number 2 to Karamoja in poverty. Tororo cement. Every house in Uganda is Tororo cement. Go to Tororo, and if you want to see grass-thatched houses, mud and water brains, I call it, it's in the east. Karamoja, where there's gold and cement, we have been soliciting for food, clothes, for people of Karamoja. So if we are going to start a revolution, then it's going to take careful education of our people, because we have been reduced to voters. We people from Busia, from the east, we only vote for you people. And I'm saying now we don't want to vote. So can we restructure this revolution? Of course, for me, I was expecting if the president had arrived in Busia, you would still be having chaos in Uganda, because we would have caused the chaos there. So can we tactically, without fear, because me, I want them to hear that I'm organizing my people. We can't continue like this. You can't get all of us and lump us on Chagulanyi. People who are poor in Bush are not poor because of Chagulanyi. We want to fight for our resources. All the wealth of Uganda enters through Busia border. And I'm a destitute in the United States. So I want us to change these narratives. Where we have made mistakes, they are mistakes. For my expected that these people were mobilizing that all up country tour, They claimed they were creating offices, structures. So from my experience, when it was just going to be a blow of a whistle that structures are activated, that's why I was participating in Busia. So if we don't want to accept mistakes, then we're wasting time. The revolution cannot be in Kampala. Kampala is heaven. Kampala is the United States of Uganda. All of us have been struggling to go to live in Kampala because there, even if you don't pray, somebody will give you money. All the money that is being stolen can be shared in Kampala. We people in the East don't get a share of that stolen money. That's why from Busia, I speak with tears in my eyes because people are messing us up. This thing is getting messed up. I speak with tears. My people cannot afford a meal. My people cannot afford education. Some of us who are speaking were remnants of Okote's regime. That's why I find my family where my father was a primary teacher, lower primary, P3, P4. He produced a surgeon for Uganda who is heading the Department of Surgery in Mulago. That's why I'm speaking. Right now, you can't get any child going for medicine from Busia. You can't get any child going for law from Busia. And this is what the things we want to speak to. And if we are going to talk about a revolution, the revolution is up country. It's not in Central. People in Central have property they're protecting. For us, we have nothing to protect. So let's restructure. And that's why I called upon them. I said, you people, let's restructure. There's no fear about this. Let's talk to Karamo Jones. I'm going to ask a tactical question here. When the whole team was in Arua, I didn't see Lina Zedriga. Lina Zedriga should have commanded Arua. Let's identify these people in areas where people can listen. Doctors, thank you.
Thank you. This, we continue to share these moments of silence. Were either
in life. I am not having fun in the diaspora. Doctors, you have been talking to me. Yeah. You have been talking to me every day. You know I'm sick. You can't stay here. We can't continue working as slaves and when we have a country. But we're like people who have come up. Doctors, I want us to speak to this seriously. When I stood on people power ticket, I was the first counselor to run and win an election here for 4 states, Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, and Kansas. And these guys came, removed me. I'm the only one who still has a case that is running against UNA. Then when I went to our people, I'm telling people power, you guys are creating the same thing. Every year we're having convention and it's dancing, merrymaking and drinking. When these guys were coming last week, I was on phone calling Nyanzi. Because we are right for a revolution. The revolution got collapsed. And now people don't want us to, and if people tell you, don't speak like that. We are speaking because we have pain. We have pain. Who is rescuing the young girls in the Middle East? Who came here with struggle, doctors, you, me, Joe, and a few people were struggling to rescue girls from, they came and messed it up and it looked like a Photoshop. Look at the photos that are coming. Somebody has come up today, when the radio Bujaja, somebody comes and says, "What watching a chinyoncha baite chiwawa, buli chigenda, buli muntu achitegeera." Wow. That talk discourages some of us. For us, we are not a wawa, and I want this one. I have just told my own boy from Busia. I'm sure he's here. He's listening. I told him stop wasting too much energy on Chagulanyi. Put energy in Busia. We need to liberate Busia, and if we liberate Busia, we shall liberate Uganda. We have done it before. For us in Busia, we are never threatened. We are never. Nobody threatens us. We can close off that border. So when we speak and we keep appreciating, we have exposed Museveni. Where am I in the diaspora? Where are thousands of young girls going to the Middle East? That's exposure. So this is not the most important exposure. This was a tactical error. The tactical error that we want these people to speak to us. It was a tactical error. What do you want to expose? If you are collecting money for a doctor in Oima, that is already an exposure. So this can't be the most important exposure. We have again started knocking each other and whatever this. Doctors, let's focus. For me, I have said, and I'm talking to people of Tororo and Busia. When I left Busia, I told them, when you want me, you'll call me back. Because we had been called by Agura worry that we are flies that get excited over rotten meat. How different is it today? When somebody, I have been asking my people of Busia, if Muhoz is a drunkard, are we going to drink? Are we going for a drinking spree? Are you trying to tell him that in Busia we don't have people whom you can follow? And that's why I've said to my people of Busia, I'm going to show you what the US looks like, and that's what Uganda is supposed to look like. So each of you, each of us, speak to your people. A revolution is not an election. Our revolution was killed by an election. When we registered as NUP, the revolution died. So all those guys who want us to continue fighting, revive our revolution. And that's what we're asking for. Doctors, I'm not in the diaspora as an envoy. No. Thank you.
Obulumi bungi okuva eri bannayuganda buli omu alina obulumi bwe bw'alina ku mutima, bw'alina munda muli, bw'alina mu mmeeme ku bigenda mu maaso mu ggwanga Uganda. Tukoze tutya obulumi buno okubumalawo? Tukoze tutya bino byonna okubigoba? Kiri eri ggwe nange okumanya omulimu gwaffe, okumanya kye tulina okukola okutereeza Uganda eno. Tulina kulwana, tulina kumanya nti kikakata ku nze, obuvunaanyizibwa buli ku nze, obuvunaanyizibwa buli ku ggwe okujja Uganda mu mikono gya Mwami Museveni. Bwe tutaaveeyo ffe ffennyini kulwana, bwe tutamanye nti bino ebintu si bya Kyagulanyi, kuba obadda nange ndaba abantu bangi ku mitimbagano wano wali bagamba Kyagulanyi byamulemye, Kyagulanyi bamuwangudde, Kyagulanyi atuyiyeeyo, Kyagulanyi biki, naye nga bo tebanneebuuza nti nze ki kye nkoze. Gwe otudde wako oli waka ogamba Kyagulanyi biganye. Kati nno eno yabadde sikuwa nnene oba wini nnene eri National Platform People Power ne Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine okuba obujulizi bw'oyongedde okuvaayo obulumika General Kaguta Museveni ku bikolobero by'azaakola bijja ebyogerwako nga abantu bagamba bya bulimba tebiriiyo. Kooti y'ensi yonna yayongedde okufuna obujulizi, bamusigansimbi bongedde okufuna obujulizi, abawozi b'ensimbi bongedde okufuna obujulizi, buli muntu ayongedde okumanya ekituufu ekiri mu ggwanga lya Uganda, General Museveni ekituufu kyali ne bulijjo byalimba, kati nno yayambuddwa naye ne yeeyambula. Buli kimu ne kivaayo, buli kimu ne kirabika. Kati awo tulina okusimbulira bannayuganda twongeremu jjiya sokola nno tuwangula otwala luno tuliko. Teri agenda lutulwanira okujjako ffe ffennyini, ffe tulina odwerwanira. Luno lwoya lwa mu nnyindo teri ajja lutukuula, ffe tulina okuvaayo mu comfort zone tukole ebyalema abalala tusobole okutereeza eggwanga lyaffe Uganda ku lw'abaana baffe. Mbaagala nnyo mwenna abaliko mwebale kubaako, Mukama Katonda nsaba bankuumire, tujja kuba tuddamu tubigambe ebigambo bataayi mweraba.